everyone! So today I'm going to be doing a video for you about unique DIY centerpiece container ideas. I know that a really big thing right now with weddings is doing like milk bottles and glass containers and mason jars and just kind of collecting them together for a really cool, unique looking centerpiece. But for those brides that don't really want just a clear glass vase as their centerpieces, I know that there are a lot of really fun and unique things that you can do with those glass containers that kind of add just a little bit more of a personal touch to your wedding, makes it a little bit more personalized, it makes it a little bit more crafty, and just kind of will add a little bit more ambiance to your centerpieces if you're not just like a plain glass bottle type person. So I know that a while back I had also talked about these guys from the Container Store. And I had promised that I was going to be doing a centerpiece using just these. And I've been really working hard on that for you guys. I've been going and looking at florals and stuff at like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and just grocery stores and trying to get some really good flowers to kind of create a mock centerpiece for you guys. But because I'm so anal about this kind of thing, unless it's perfect and it's exactly what I want, I don't want to do it. And I haven't been able to find flowers yet that I'm really happy with. But now as we're going a little bit forward into spring, I'm going to be able to be finding a lot more unique flowers. Just more flowers will be in season. They'll be more affordable for me to do this project for you guys. And I haven't been able to find a nice linen that I'm happy with. So for me, with this kind of thing, it's either go big or go home. So I have been working on that for you, but I think it's just going to be a few more weeks as we go into spring before I can actually do that. But today I will talk a little bit about these, just kind of share some ideas that I have for you, and hopefully you guys will find it useful. So if you're interested in watching, stay tuned. Okay, so let's get started. One of the ideas that I did want to first show you are the containers that I just mentioned from the Container Store. These little ones start at $1.49, and I think the larger ones are $1.99. Yeah, and they come in all different colors. Like I have them here in green. They have like a dark neon green, they have pink, and then these white ones are the large ones, and they even have these ones that actually kind of look like little flowers, and these come in all different colors as well, and these are $1.29, so that's a really good deal. So yeah, I actually was just kind of playing around with these. I'm not sure if you guys have ever noticed, but in my background here on my end table, I have a little orange like rose bouquet centerpiece type thing, and that was actually a centerpiece that my aunt made me for my bridal shower. So I always have that there, but I actually just kind of took the flowers that were inside of that and inserted them into this container. I know these colors really suck. Like it actually took me a lot of courage to post something like this because the colors I'm just really not happy with. But just for reference, like this is what using this as a vase would actually look like for you guys. And I think it actually looks really pretty with like the greenery and the roses. I mean, obviously you could use any type of flower that you wanted, but they fit really nicely in here, and I think this is actually a really cool, unique little container. And they're so cheap, and they can be anchored down with anything inside because they are very light. So if you did want to use a heavier flower, like a bigger rose or something like that, you probably would need to anchor them down, but you could easily just throw in some really cheap craft store rocks or something inside these things so that they'll be really weighted down. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this came out, and honestly, I just literally took it from that container there and plopped it into this. And I was just watching TV one night with Josh, and I was like, I wonder what they would look like, and I just plopped them in there, and it was done. So all I did with the roses, well, all that my aunt did with the roses actually, was she just took one of those floral oasis sponge things and just inserted the roses like that, so they actually had like a nice formulation, and then that's it. She just cut them down like that so they're not like super long, and then plopped them into a container. So that's actually really, really easy to do. You could, if you wanted to do artificial flowers, you could easily have these done way ahead of time and you wouldn't have to really worry about it. So yeah, I really like how these look in this container. So I'm really liking that. Another idea from the Container Store are actually, they have tons and tons of these little plastic boxes. This one I actually use for office organization, and it's 69 cents. I actually never took the price tag off. And these boxes come with, actually they come with little lids like this, and they are plastic, and they range they come in a variety of different colors and sizes. You can actually get these really, really large, like rectangular vertical boxes in clear, and then a bunch of different colors. I think they're $9.99 each. So they are kind of more expensive the larger that you go, but I think these would actually be really, really cool centerpiece vase ideas if you did want like a more modern look, because these are very structured and rectangular. And if you really wanted to do a really colorful wedding, I mean, these come in pink, blue, yellow, green, teal, a bunch of different colors. So if you really wanted a strong color theme, and then you just wanted to put like maybe all white flowers in different colored box containers, that would look really, really cool. So I really suggest, if you're interested in an idea like that, hitting up the Container Store and taking a look at these. I think they're in the gift packaging aisle, and there's just like this huge row of them, so it should be really easy to find. So I really like that idea. And then as far as just the glass containers, I've actually collected a lot of them over time because I did a mock photo shoot with my friend Brittany Parker at Hunley Productions. Hi, Brittany. And so I've been collecting a lot of these, and I've just been going to local like antique stores and secondhand stores to find a bunch of different glass containers. So I have a bunch of them left over. So what I did is I just did a bunch of different like treatments to them to see how creative you could actually get with these types of things. So this little jar is actually a jam jar that I found at a local antique store down the street from me. I'm actually really lucky because where I live in Chicago, I have probably access to like 5 unique hand-me-down antique stores like right on my block, so it's actually really easy for me. I know it's not going to be as easy for everyone, but I think it's really it's worth it to go down and like actually go out of your way to find really good stores like this, because you can get some amazing deals. I actually got these for I think like $1, so I think I got a couple of them. For this particular one, I just wrapped it in twine. So if you're doing more of like a rustic theme for your wedding and you want to add a little bit more texture to your bottles, I think this is a really good way to do that. Twine is so inexpensive. I think I got like a huge pack of it at Michael's for like $3 or $4, and I barely use any just to do this small little container. I know it doesn't look perfect. I just did this quickly before this video. I had this idea for this video last night, so this morning I was just kind of like trying to get this all together for you guys. So it's not perfect, so I do apologize. But I mean, you could easily just stick some flowers in here. Like any type of like, you know, rustic greenery or anything like that, and it would look really pretty, I think. So to add some texture, I just used some twine like I said before. And if you want to do something else, hold on a second, I got it down here. You could also add burlap. This is a new package, so let me undo it for you guys. Burlap is just, I'm sure most of you know what burlap is, but it's just this like, here. It's just this very rustic material, like this. I also recommend a lot of my clients use this as a table runner as well, if you're doing a rustic theme like outside, like a garden or whatever. But you could just as easily, if you've got a larger mason jar, like I have this one over here, I'm going to use as another example in a second, but you could easily just wrap this around like a mason jar. I mean, obviously it's not perfect, but it'll give it a lot of texture, and you don't have to do it to every single one. Obviously you could have maybe like 3 or 4 clear mason jars and then 1 wrapped in burlap or something. So I thought that was a kind of a really cool texturized idea if you guys wanted to do something like that. So moving on, if you wanted to do something that's more like not exactly rustic, but just a little bit more fancy, I guess, or a little bit more crafty, I just took this one glass bottle. This is more feminine, obviously. So if you're doing a lot of like lace and that kind of thing in your wedding, I took some lace and I put it around the bottom, I guess 2/3 of this bottle. This I just got at Joann Fabrics. I just bought a spool of it for a couple dollars, so it's really cheap lace. But obviously you could really look for some high quality lace if you really wanted to. But for this purpose, I just figured to go with the cheap stuff. No one will be able to tell the difference. So I put the lace from here down, and then I just added this pink ribbon. You obviously don't have to use pink. This was just the color that I had that I think best complemented this white lace. But any color that you wanted, I just put it on the bottom half here. So it's still kind of modern, and still very elegant and very vintagey at the same time. So I really liked that. And then I just secured the back with some hot glue. So that's all I did for that. It's really easy. You can get a hot glue gun anywhere. Obviously, you probably already have one for those crafty people out there. But yeah, so I kind of like that. I thought it was really pretty the way it looked. And then I think some ranunculuses or some really pretty Juliet garden roses would look really nice in this type of vase, just because they're very feminine flowers. 2 of my favorites, actually. So I really like that. And then you could also do the same thing with ribbon. This is just a regular mason jar, and I just wrapped it in ribbon. Again, ignore the color. I really have a limited ribbon supply right now. I usually have a lot, but this was the only color that I could find that would actually work for this type of bottle. So I just wrapped it in some ribbon, and you could do tons of things with this. You could add a different color in the middle to really give it some dimension. But again, really easy and really cheap. And again, I just affixed the back of it with some hot glue. And then for starting it, going around the bottle, hot glue. It really is that simple. So you could even do the whole bottle if you wanted to. You could do just a little bit in the middle. You could even tie it with a bow in the center. So I think this is a really easy solution. I think this is it's really simple and easy to do as well. And then you could just pass these off to your florist, or you could, if you're doing your flowers yourself, you've already got a bunch of vases ready to go for you. So I think that's a really cute idea as well. And then let's see, oh, one more for you guys. This is actually something that is left over from my photo shoot with Brittany. And I'll actually post a link to my blog entry about that if you guys are interested in seeing what I did and how I used all these different glass bottles in that photo shoot. And so the last thing that you can do if you really wanted to is you can buy chalkboard paint. This is actually a larger mason jar. I got this from Michael's. I think they were $1.99 each. Yeah, but they are really big. And they are the Kerr brand, so you can see that back here. And we just took some chalkboard paint, which you can find at any craft store, and I painted it on the front of the bottle here where there's a flat side on it. You obviously do need to have a flat side on your mason jar. I know that this mason jar, I think there was a Bali one, it didn't have a flat side, so that's why I bought these larger ones. It was the only one I could find that did have a flat surface. I just bought some chalkboard paint, and because I was doing more of a rustic photo shoot, I kind of just messily put this on, and I didn't even try to like shape the corners or anything. I really wanted to give it like a very homespun crafty feel. So I did that, and I took like I think 2 coats to put this on, and I just used like a little sponge paintbrush thing that you can get for like 50 cents at the craft store. And then I just bought some chalk, and Brittany actually did this for me because I have the worst handwriting in the whole world. So Brittany actually wrote the table numbers and then the names, and these were meant to be place cards for everyone. But I mean, if you're doing like a garden type wedding, this would be a really cute idea. You could put some flowers in here. Let me just take the top off for you. You could easily put this, use this for your flowers. And if you're doing like a garden thing, like I said before, you could just write the name of the flower on the jar so people know exactly what you're using. I thought that would be kind of cute. It would look very homespun, very gardeny, very vintage at the same time. And I think this is something that's really unique that your guests would really remember as well. And then at the end, if you really want to get rid of all this stuff, you could actually use these as your favors. Just make sure that there's enough jars on the table for each guest, and they could take these home and they'd have like a little mini garden. So I thought that was actually kind of a cute idea. I think that's it. I hope that that was helpful for you guys. I know that they weren't super unique ideas. You can probably find different versions and variations of these on wedding blogs out there, but I just wanted to show you. I whipped all this stuff up in probably a half an hour this morning before I did this video, so they are really easy to do. All you've got to do is just go out there and find the different shapes and sizes of the bottles you want to use. Go to the craft store, buy some burlap if you want to, the different kinds of ribbon, check out the container store, and buy a hot glue gun if you don't already have one, and you're good to go. So I hope that you enjoyed that and you found it useful. If you guys have any other ideas along this line, please share them below in the comments. I would love to hear about them, and maybe if I find something really interesting, I'll go ahead and try to do it myself. So yeah, I hope that you liked that, and I'll see you back here soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.